This is Nigeria Now on Equa Television International. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Sambo Solomon. You can do well to join us on Facebook and YouTube Live at Equa Television International. As you know, like this show, we try to look at issues surrounding our country, Nigeria, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. For the bad, we prefer solution. For the ugly, we see how we panel beat and then make it work. And in the studio, I have Joyce Jakada.
Always a pleasure. Good afternoon, Sambo Solomon. Pleasant afternoon to our viewers out there.
Wow. 2023 general election, now the issue of declaration is over. And then some are happy, some are not happy, just mixed reaction everywhere, allegation of rigging, counter allegation, and then you see petitions going up like flying left, right, center, everybody trying to pursue his mandate, so-called, in the court. But before we talk about that on the show today, I just want us to look at the issue of reaction. This time around, not in the politics angle, but this time around, NLC are coming together to say the hardship is too much. People are suffering, and they feel this Naira swap thing is really putting Nigerians into deep hardship, and they feel it is now time for them to go out and make a statement. And they are calling for a nationwide shutdown for the Apex Court. And I said, is it the way to go?
Well, like I will always emphasize, we like reactive measures to proactive measures. You expect that a government that is about the people, once there is a problem that it befalls the people, the government will be swift to ensuring that solution is being brought to place. You recall the fact that NLC are calling for nationwide protests, and then they are calling on their members to go to all the CBN branches in their city, like to protest there. It's over the shortage of cash. And you recall that even before this call, NLC had written to the CBN federal government saying that they are giving them 1 week to ensure that there's cash in circulation because of the untold hardship that they've seen the people going through. It's not like the people are going to ask the federal government to give us money that we don't deserve. These are legitimate money that people in that is in their account, yet they don't have access to it. We've seen how a lot of businesses have suffered because of lack of cash. To some extent, most of our small businesses are still dependent on this cash transaction. We've told Nigerians to resort to e-platform, but how many of our e-platform are working swiftly without having challenge of declined transaction or your money being debited and then you don't get a refund not until after 2 days? Like this morning, I woke up to a transaction I did 2 days ago that was declined. I was debited and the person was not credited. It was 2 days after, 48 hours before I got a reversal. So you can imagine, someone shared a story of her experience. Since December, she made a transfer and she was debited. The other party was not credited and the bank are yet to refund her money. So this, whether we like it or not, has brought the methodology of the implementation of the Naira policy, have brought untold hardships on Nigeria. If you walk down the street right now in Sambo Solomon, you will see queues at ATM, and where you don't see ATM queues, that means there's no money in that ATM. So I think it is very needful that the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, come out to speak for the people, because it is actually about the people. So they actually gave a one week ultimatum to the federal government and the CBN to ensure that there's cash in circulation, but more like it turned to deaf ear. And this is coming after the exhaustion of the 1 week that they gave to the federal government. And they are saying, since they gave the 1 week and they didn't see anything in place, so all their members cut across different states, next week they should storm all the CBN branches to protest. And you know what that is likely to cause, because people are already angered. People are not feeling happy about all these things. There are people that are dying of hunger. Like, this is money that you legitimately owned. And then for you to have access to it, the bank is even saying, if the policy say the minimum for you as an individual is 20,000 per day. When last were you able to withdraw 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira, talk more of the 20,000. You go to bank and they tell you that the only thing you can get is 500 naira, is 1,000 naira. You begin to think the fuel that took you to bank and you need to replace it. So I think the federal government, we don't have to get to this point. That's why I'm always saying we like being reactive. I saw that after the ultimatum that was given, the CBN actually made a statement calling on all the commercial banks to come and get cash. So I was asking myself, so were you waiting for a call for nationwide protest before you make cash available? You had cash and you saw people suffering. I've had the broadcast that was made by the president saying because of the hardship that the policy has brought upon the people, that is why he's saying that the old 200 naira should go hand in hand. That's even after the courts. Apex Court has said that everything should be in circulation. So I don't know why we like being reactive, but I don't think it's the best way for us. Let's always see leaders being deliberate about decisions and policies. Governance is about the people. And if it is not favorable to the people are suffering, then I wonder what the leaders are doing. So we need to wake up to our responsibility and be proactive with decisions instead of reactive measures.
Well, we pray that the appropriate authority will do the right thing.
Sure.
Because I begin to see some small cash like trying to flow today. Like you asked me that question, when last do you withdraw 10,000 naira? I was like, wow, 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira, like to me, if you're asking me, I didn't be all this while I have access to withdraw 10,000. Then it's like 10 million.
Somebody said that it's not, I have cash. I have money is different from I have cash. So which one do you have? Because you can have money in your account and yet you don't have the cash, you don't have access to it. You try transaction, it doesn't go, then it's like you being without the money. So well, we hope to see that in circulation so that it can bring down the suffering that this has brought upon the people. We
hope so. But let me tell you, the truth is that the new Naira note, it's nowhere to be found. Now we are talking the old Naira note. So I ask myself, why the policy? Why the policy?
I wonder what we have achieved with this.
Well, petitions here and there, you remember the presidential candidate of Labour Party, finally laid his petition on the tribunal, and then the People's Democratic candidate too successfully, and then after that, based on what is in the petition now, is beginning to raise issues that people are beginning to respond to what already is written out there. I think one of the prayers is that the president-elect should be disqualified, and then the certificate should be retrieved and be given to the Labour Party presidential candidate, and then or the election should be nullified and start afresh. I think these are some of his prayers, and then after that, people are beginning to react, which you listen to Festus Keyamo, writing a petition, this time around not to the tribunal, but to DSS, asking DSS to arrest Peter Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed.
Sambo Solomon, since the campaign, if you ask me, Festus Keyamo has been an actor in all of this because Festus Keyamo, he's the Minister of State for Labour as well as one of the spokesperson of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. So would you be surprised to hear that? And this is not even the first time that he's actually writing to the DSS, sending petition, and ask me what have the DSS done so far with some of the petitions that he has filed. Nothing. Why? Because they don't also want to be seen like going by directive of some political figure that is trying to do his or her job. Like, well, ordinarily one would think like election is over, so petitions have been filed to the court, so everybody is supposed to return to his duty or his assignment. Like Festus Keyamo is the Minister of Labour and Employment, and you're expected to see him going back to the office, but yet we still see people going still storing the part of petition saying this and that, and he has called on the DSS to arrest Peter Obi of the Labour Party, as well as Datti Baba Ahmed, his vice presidential candidate. And you begin to ask questions on what ground. But the Minister of State for Labour, as well as one of the spokesperson of the APC Presidential Council, Festus Keyamo, is calling for the arrest of the presidential candidate and his running mate for allegedly making comments and claim that he said are capable of causing insurrection against the government. But it didn't end there, because the Labour Party also replied him, saying that the allegation should be dismissed against their presidential candidate, accusing Keyamo of selfishness. They noted the fact that where was Keyamo when MC Oluomo was making statements that were inciting and intimidating, more like what he preempted coming to pass during the governorship election. He made intimidatory comment, and then people saw it playing out. Why didn't we see Keyamo coming out to talk? What about Bayo Ononuga, who is also a close ally of Festus Keyamo? He made a tweet that was really inciting, that raised ethnic tension and all of that. Why didn't we see Festus Keyamo talking? You can't count the number of times that FFK, Fani Kayode, has made comments that ordinarily, you like, from seeing it, you know that this statement or this comment is just geared at inciting people against another. Very abusive words in some cases. Why didn't we see Festus Keyamo talking? Is it because now it has to do with Labour Party and all of that? I was expecting petitions are already in the tribunal, so people will go back to their normal responsibility. People will begin to watch the words they say, but like, it was so surprising to see that what Festus Keyamo was even accusing Peter Obi, as well as his deputy, his vice, Datti Ahmed, was what he was now doing while on that same interview. He already preempted the tribunal, because he said all the claim by LPs, Peter Obi, as well as Atiku at the tribunal, that they are going to be averted, more like the courts are going to nullify all of that accusation. This is a case that is already before the court, but you're already preempting it. You are a son, and you don't, like, people will expect that you know the law and you live by it. But what he's accusing these people of is what is already playing out. What did Peter Obi say during an interview last week? He said, well, there's already a hashtag to end INEC protest. There's also that of end democracy protest. But he said he's not even throwing all that part, because he has already filed his petition and he has faith in the judiciary. So he believed that the right thing will be done. His vice, talking about Baba Datti Ahmed, talked about the fact that if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is declared the president, or is being sworn in May 29, that will signal end of democracy. And why is he saying that? Because they were all talked about the irregularities in the process and all of that. We saw how that in the Constitution in Section 134, subsection 2, talking about the fact that anybody that must be president, you must score at least 25% of the FCT. You must get votes that is
two-thirds of
yes, 25% in Abuja. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu just got about 18.8%. But well, one of the cases that is still in the court, and we expect that the judiciary at the end of the day are going to interpret that very part. LPs, Labour Party PCC, as well as Yusuf Tanko have talked about the Festus Keyamo statement as a joke. They said it's just a joke, and he's just doing that to impress his master. If not, why would you ignore Bayo Ononuga's comment, his tweet? Why would you ignore MC Olumo's tweet, comment, sorry? Why would you ignore FFK and then you decide to talk about this particular one? Some refer to that as even selfishness. Well, we saw how that the civil rights advocacy group, talking about Horiwa, also slamming Keyamo for allegedly bringing, for saying that Obi as well as Datti, that he should be arrested while he's ignoring those other people, and then for the preempting that this is what the court is going to rule. Well, like I said, I expect that this time we're going to start thinking of Nigeria. We've always emphasized the fact there's one thing that binds all of us together, whether we like it or not, which is our roots. We're all Nigerians. Anywhere we go to, that is what we're going to be referred to as. So I expect that by now nobody should be making comments that are going to be insightful. We should, whatever we're going to be talking about, nobody's saying that all our comments or all our thinking or how we see things must be the same. Definitely we'll have varying ideas and opinions, but on what grounds are they? Let it be on facts. Let it be just. When we are talking, let's not just talk because we want to please our masters. Let's not forget that after there's life after this election, after all is said and done, after the court have made their own declaration, we have Nigeria to build. So it is important that we take note of that. We've seen verbal violence playing out since from the campaign. Now the petition is in the court. So on what moral ground is Festus Keyamo calling for the arrest of Labour Party Peter Obi as well as his deputy Baba Ahmed Datti? So I think we should come to that point where we think of the bigger picture, Nigeria. I've seen situations where even the president-elect is calling for all the parties to come together so that they can work to build Nigeria. I've seen him spoke about just 2 days ago how the fact that Nigerians need to heal. Heal from what? They can't be healing without justice. Why? On what ground am I healing? You get? So I think beyond all this talk, well, the case is that the court will allow them to interpret whatever has been the petitions that has been submitted. But if we are calling for healing, if we are calling for reconciliation and all of that, then we must identify where the problem is coming from. That way we'll avert it from happening again. But if we're not pointing out to the issue, we're just expecting people to move on, I think that will be difficult.
Move on how? When you have reconciliation to make, when you have a wound to be healed, and with this kind of toxic environment, I don't think it is really healthy for our reconciliation and our healing. And then if your principal officer is saying we need to come together and build Nigeria, we have to form a unity government, we have to make sure that we heal from all the words of campaigning and the rest. And then up to now, we are hearing such a statement from, I will call them stakeholders, you know, people that you can say that at least there are people of a high caliber. They are icons that, yes, Nigerians, the younger ones, like a son, for instance. You know, you have younger lawyers that are just coming. You have some that are in school. They are looking up to, making references to your materials. And then you go this way, and then what are you saying? Because if you talk about one Nigeria, you talk about unity of this country, you talk about patriotism, then I think our words we should choose our words carefully, you know, when talking about national issues, like what you said. Remember in our program earlier today, one of our magazine program, the topic is after politics.
Beyond politics.
Beyond politics, then what? You understand? And that's when we are talking about building relationship, you know, mending them, you know, healing those process. And with such words, I don't think we are towing the right path.
Well, we expect statesmen like Festus Keyamo at this point to be just. To be just in their defense. We expect beyond Festus Keyamo, we have other spokespersons too that are reacting. I think at this point in time, we need to be just, we need to be objective with their varying ideas, because at the end of it, like I said earlier on, we have Nigeria to build. Whether we like it or not, we actually have something that is binding us, and I think it supersedes every other thing, which is our roots, Nigeria. We are all Nigerian. For us to build the Nigeria of our dream, we must calm our temper and do the right thing. Yes.
Reason together and be objective.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Joyce, for doing this with me.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. For the viewer, we want to sincerely appreciate you for giving us your time. We thank you for always following Ekwa Television, and we pray that as we keep doing this together, we'll continue to find solutions, you know, proper solutions that will build this country, that all of us together will enjoy the fruit of our labor. And for the politicians, please and please don't hit the polity. Don't hit the polity. Don't hit the polity. Please and please, we're begging you, because some people are watching, and then whatever that is happening, it is assume that you are giving us a directive of where to go. So I feel it is very important that everything is in the court. Then let the court do the needful. And for the court, definitely now that everything has shifted to the court, and then people are watching. So do what you are supposed to do, because you are the last hope of Nigerians. I pray that God will continue to help us as a country. I will continue to do the right thing in our own given assignment. Thank you for doing this with us, and we pray that God will bless us as we continue to do the right thing. Bye-bye for now, and God bless us.